What if the wisdom of a Roman emperor, forged in the fires of war and philosophy, faced a vision of a leader who carried a divided nation through its darkest hour? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic ruler who taught the world about duty, virtue, and the mastery of self, against Abraham Lincoln, the president who believed in unity, liberty, and the power of words to heal a broken country. Two leaders from different worlds. Two voices shaping the destiny of nations. Welcome to the debate of Marcus Aurelius versus Abraham Lincoln.
Every man is called to serve something greater than himself. Some are blinded by ambition, some enslaved by passions, but the true leader is the one who rules first over his own soul. I learned this not in the comfort of palaces, but in the hardships of war, when the cold wind swept across the Danube, when the cries of battle drowned the quiet of thought. Lincoln, you are known for holding together a nation torn apart. Yet what is unity worth if it is built upon fear, anger, or hatred? Unity must rest upon justice, for no empire, no republic, no kingdom can endure long if its foundations are corrupt. I ruled Rome not by chasing glory, but by reminding myself each morning, you may die today. You may face betrayal today. You may be tested beyond endurance today. This was my preparation. For if one fears loss, one clings desperately to power, but if one accepts loss, one rules with clarity. You speak of liberty, and that is noble. But liberty without virtue is chaos. A man free to act unjustly enslaves himself to his vices. A people free without discipline tear their own society apart. That is why I held fast to Stoic principles. That the measure of a man is not his victories, not the monuments he leaves, but the strength with which he bears suffering and the justice with which he treats others. What is the role of a leader, if not to embody that justice? To show that even in the storms of politics, one can remain calm, unmoved by insults, undistracted by applause. To govern is to serve, and to serve is to master oneself first. So I ask you, Lincoln, you who carried your nation through civil war, did you truly unite men, or did you merely bind wounds that may bleed again? Did you govern from principle, or from necessity? For a leader without virtue may win power, but he cannot win the soul of his people. And a nation without virtue, no matter how free, no matter how strong, will one day fall.
Marcus, you speak of duty, of justice, of the weight a leader must carry within himself. On that we agree. For no man who governs can afford to be ruled by pride, anger, or fear. And yet, there is a difference between leading an empire of subjects and guiding a republic of free citizens. You ask if I united men truly or only bound their wounds for a time. I tell you this, in my nation, the wound was slavery. No philosophy, no calm endurance, no silent acceptance of fate could justify its continuation. To allow one man to own another is to tear the very soul of liberty apart. And so, unity was not enough. It had to be a unity built upon freedom. You say liberty without virtue is chaos. That may be true, but slavery without liberty is hell. A people in chains cannot learn virtue, cannot grow in discipline, cannot rise to their highest selves. They are denied the very chance to prove whether they can master their passions, because they are denied their humanity. I did not wake each day telling myself I might die, though I knew it. I woke each day asking, if I die, what cause will live on? For leadership is not only about enduring suffering, it is about giving meaning to it. A republic is not Rome's legions, nor its marble halls. It is the idea that all men are created equal, and that government derives its power from the consent of the governed. Without that, unity is only submission. You ask whether I govern by principle or necessity. I say both. Principle without action is a dream. Action without principle is tyranny. In the darkest hours of our war, when brother fought brother, when blood stained our fields, I chose to act so that the nation would not perish from the earth. Was it necessity? Yes. But it was also the principle that liberty is the birthright of all, not the privilege of the few. You measured your life by how well you bore suffering. I measured mine by whether suffering led to progress. A man may endure with virtue, but if he does not change what is unjust, his endurance becomes resignation. So I ask you, Marcus, in the end, is it better for a man to accept the world as it is, or to risk everything to make it what it ought to be?
Abraham, your words burn with fire, the fire of justice, of freedom, of a vision that no man should own another. For this, I honor you. But let us not mistake passion for clarity. You speak as though liberty is the highest good and slavery the greatest evil. Yet I ask you, is a man free because his chains are broken, or because his mind cannot be chained? History shows us, some kings have lived in gilded palaces but remained slaves to their desires, while some prisoners in darkness have been freer than their masters. Freedom, if it rests only upon law and politics, is fragile. Empires fall, nations break, new tyrants rise. If liberty is external only, then men will always be at risk of losing it. But if liberty is internal, the mastery of the soul, the refusal to bow to fear, anger, or greed, then even the humblest man may possess what no tyrant can steal. You claim that to endure injustice without changing it is resignation. Perhaps. But tell me, what if the cost of change destroys not only the oppressor but also the oppressed? You speak of progress through suffering, but suffering has no guarantee. A war for freedom may leave ruins where virtue cannot grow. Unity born of blood is unity trembling on fragile ground. When I ruled, I faced rebellion, famine, plague. I could not free all men from suffering. No emperor could. What I could do was teach them to endure it with dignity. For storms come whether we will them or not. Your war was chosen, mine were given by nature and fate. You say, if I die, what cause will live on? But to a Stoic, the cause is virtue itself. Not victory, not history's judgment, not even the survival of the state. A man who dies having kept his character intact has achieved the highest purpose. What greater triumph than to master oneself completely, even when the world collapses around you? Abraham, you forged a nation anew. I do not deny your greatness. But I ask, how long will that unity last? Already men divide themselves again. Already liberty is argued and bent to ambition. That is the nature of externals. They change as the wind. What endures is the discipline of the mind. So I challenge you, would you rather have a people who are free because no chains bind their bodies, or a people who are unshakable because no chains can bind their souls? For I tell you this, the empire of the self is eternal. The empires of men are not.
Marcus, I cannot deny the strength of your words. The freedom of the soul, the mastery of the self. Yes, that is indeed a fortress no tyrant can breach. But I must ask you, what becomes of that fortress when the body is broken by the whip? What dignity remains when a child is torn from her mother's arms and sold like cattle? You say liberty rests in the mind. But tell me, what of the man who has never been taught to read, whose chains kept him from knowledge, whose spirit was beaten until even hope seemed treasonous? Do we tell him, be content, for your soul may still be free? That is not virtue, Marcus. That is abandonment. I grant you this. Laws fall, nations fracture, and new tyrants rise. But should we therefore do nothing? If unity is fragile, do we not mend it? If liberty is fleeting, do we not guard it? You faced famine, plague, rebellion, and you endured with wisdom. But I faced a plague of man against man, brother against brother, human beings bought and sold. And endurance alone would have left millions in chains. You say war destroys both oppressor and oppressed. True, I have walked among the graves. I have written letters to mothers whose sons would never come home. I carry their faces with me every day. But I ask you, Marcus, was their sacrifice meaningless? Or was it the price of planting freedom so deep in the soil that, even if storms come, it will grow again? You teach that storms arrive whether we will them or not. Yet sometimes the storm is the cure. Without the storm, the air grows foul, the land stagnant. Slavery was such a stagnation, a poison choking the very promise of this nation. And so the storm had to break. You ask me what endures. I say this, the human cry for justice. Empires rise and fall, but the longing of one man not to be owned by another, that echoes forever. You speak of the empire of the self. I speak of the union of many selves, bound not by chains, but by a shared belief that liberty belongs to all. Marcus, I honor your wisdom, but I cannot tell the slave to wait until he masters his mind. I must first break his chains, for a soul may endure much, but a nation cannot call itself virtuous while millions suffer in silence. And so, I stand by this. True freedom is not only within, it must also walk upon this earth.
Tonight, we witness a clash of duty and vision. Marcus Aurelius showed the enduring power of self-mastery, virtue, and inner discipline, reminding us that true strength begins in the mind and soul. Abraham Lincoln answered with the weight of history, proving that courage, empathy, and decisive action can change the course of nations. This debate challenges us. Do we master ourselves first, or do we act to shape the world around us? Who would you follow in a crisis of conscience and destiny? Comment below, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more epic confrontations where philosophy meets the lives of history's greatest figures.